So have you always loved your skin complexion? Why or why not?
I have to be honest. As a child, a little girl, it was skin. It was skin. So I don't think as a child I thought much about it having a certain color because it was just my skin. My skin color did not come into true question for me until about 5th grade. It was 5th grade, and I had in elementary school, that's when a child really forms their self. You get to find out, the kids in the class that can draw. Everybody in the class has someone that can draw, who can sing, who can rap, who's good with, pencil fighting. Like everybody started to develop their skill. So by 5th grade, I knew that sarcasm was my love language, and that I enjoyed learning. So I befriended this boy, right? We're in the same grade. And you have to know, at that time, and I tell this to my 3 sons, little girls are so much more mature than little boys at that age. So I was a very mature 5th grader. I had a lot of responsibility. I had seen a lot of things. So to come in to encounter a boy counterpart that could engage in intelligent conversation, that had, perspective, because I was a deep child. So of course, by the end of the school year, I wind up really liking him because he stood out amongst all of our other West Baltimore counterparts. And don't you remember there was this little game, it was like origami, where you would go back and forth and you would say if you were going to live in a mansion or in the trunk of a car, or are you going to have, how many children you're going to have, and, the numbers and all that jazz. And it had said something related to liking a girl or something. And of course, I wanted him to say me, and he had said that he liked another girl in my class, a light-skinned girl. And he said it specifically. He was like, I like her. When he told me that he liked her, I was like, well, what is it that you like about her? Because I was already hurt. And he's like, she has pretty straight hair. She has pretty eyes, color eyes, and she has light skin. And he just kept going. He kept going, but I don't know what as he described this girl, I just knew that's not me, right? And I remember coming home that night, and it's interesting because now I understand how my mother knew. And growing up, I thought my mother had some type of superpower, because ironically, on that particular day, when I am being told all the things that I'm not with such ease, by a friend who can clearly see that, felt no need to, self-correct or anything. And I was really heartbroken. But I'm not going to share that with my family when I get home. And my mother was cooking dinner, and I remember I was standing beside her, like maybe putting something on a plate. And my mother was like, you know that you're beautiful, right? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Because it's just, as children, you really don't understand how powerful your words are for children. And even if they try to be casual about it, for some, it can be a self-defense, right? So when I would hear her say it, I wouldn't take it in but so much. But it was on that particular day, at that particular moment, when who I was as a woman had been called, as a black person had been called into question to this 5th grade head, my mother, without without even making it an issue that she thought I could not get past. She just wanted to remind me of who I was. So she was like, you know you're pretty, you know you're beautiful, right? I was like, yes, ma'am. She was like, you know that you're beautiful, right? Because you look like your mother. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm pretty good. And, you know, turned it into a laugh. And from that point on, I think, well, one, now that I have 3 boys, my oldest is about to go to 7th grade. I understand that, you know, throughout your child's life, I enjoy when my children come home from school because I want the drama. Give me the dirt. Like, I've been like that since pre-K. I'm like, and then they did what? Who farted? Oh my gosh, are you serious? And so when you do that, you actually start to know your children's interest before they do, because this is their first time here. As parents, as adults, we've been through this. So we know when a child comes home and they keep saying somebody's name over and over and over again. What that mean, right? Exactly. So, and when you come and you pick your child up from school and you see how so-and-so's best friend treats your child, and it's not what you would think a best friend would do, and now you understand that this is a situation where your child has to determine this, right? So I didn't know that all this stuff was going on above me. And I'm very thankful that the person who mattered the most, who is a reflection of who I am, responded back to me with the power that she already knew I had. And even now, as an adult, like I'm an 80s baby, so we're the generation that we're doing documentaries and asking questions about things that we buried, things that embarrassed us, things that we resented, grew angry about, the things that people call traumatic, and you wind up passing that trauma. In my family, there were some who heard about that incident, and now you may be coming too hard. Now you're coming from the opposite side, that you know, these light-skinned women, and they think they this and they think they that. I don't find it ironic that my best friend in high school was Brandy Proctor. And Brandy Proctor, she transferred into Western High School in like the 10th or the later part of the 9th grade. And I was president of my class. And I took it upon myself to, you know, guide her around and, you know, let her know the ups and downs and all that stuff. And I saw how dark-skinned girls treated her as a light-skinned girl. And I'm like, damn, if we don't understand empathy, because all of this time, because, you know, this is my bubble. I'm dealing with, you know, the stereotypes of, you know, the dark-skinned women being so hard, and dark-skinned women being fast, and they hyper-sexualize us. That's a lot to carry, right? But to actually understand that as Black people, we are united by the same crime. We are all united by being kidnapped and taken from our source and brought to a strange world and made to manifest, right? There's this quote, well, it wasn't a quote. James Baldwin was having a conversation, and it stuck to me when he said that, you know, as human beings, we believe that we are the only people that have ever experienced the pain and trauma that we've ever experienced in our life. And once you realize that that is not the case, it changes things. actually hearing my light-skinned girlfriend's stories of being jumped, knowing that scars are purposely tried to be, put on a light-skinned girl's face because you want to mark her. The jealousy, the infighting, the rage, and to understand, damn, we fighting each other and we're all coming from the same pain source. We're fighting each other from the same pain source. The fuck is that? So that was something that I had to negotiate throughout my life, because as African Americans, as children, now we have to, be awakened to this thing of racism that, we weren't born knowing existed. You're not born knowing that, oh, this color right here is going to automatically make someone dehumanize me. Like, does anyone understand how the conversations that black people have to have with their children, that you have to make them aware of their reality, but also ensure that they don't grow bitter because of their reality? So
let me ask you this.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. You talked about, being bitter or bitter from that reality of what's going on. How did it affect you personally? If there's like a certain incident, even if it's not specific, where when that came into question as far as your skin tone, like how did it make you feel, and were you bitter? Are you still bitter about a particular thing?
So here's the thing, and you'll notice that I talk about my children a lot, and it's because my children are the ones who have given me all of these epiphanies, because now life is kind of repeating itself in front of me, and I get a chance to self-reflect and adjust. So like right now, I have 3 beautiful boys. My oldest is going to be 12. My twins are going to be 10. These are the most handsome black kings you'll ever come in contact with. And they're the products of the YouTube age and the gaming era, and the influencer, and trends and hashtags. Like, that's their thing. So there's a trend. This first, it starts off as, it's called the Riz, right? So Riz is just charisma, but they think, this generation, that they are so clever that they call it, oh, when you go and riz somebody up, that means charm them up, right? And then you hit them with the light-skinned stare, which is, so you're supposed to be like doing all this surmising. So this light-skinned stare, I've got my boys all around the house, and they're all trying to riz each other. Hey, sweetheart. And it's not funny to me. One, my husband is light-skinned. Right, my husband is light-skinned, fair-skinned. He jokingly calls himself beige, so he's light-skinned. And our 3 sons are, I would call them like a light caramel shade, a varying caramel shade across the, but as far as having the deep darkness of mommy, they don't. And I realized that I didn't want to perpetuate the same things that divide us as black people and have it happening under my own roof. For my children to feel as though they can separate themselves or categorize themselves by skin color in our family, when we are just black, period. There is no shade. There is no what someone's going to get away with and what someone won't. I need for you to understand that we are the same.
your name again, Baltimore certified, all of that. Let me get that one more take, and then we'll do one more question, and then it's gonna be a wrap.
All right. Okay.
Good?
I'm great.
You're doing good. You're really doing good. You're really doing good.